What did you just say about me? You save all of that, all this? You save that for the chessboard. You got it? All right, but anyway, today we're going to be looking over a game that I played about 2 weeks ago. I'm playing against an opponent who I am significantly higher rated than, but there's quite a few mistakes that were made on both sides. Definitely a bit of a sloppy game, but that also means that there's a lot to look over and to learn from. But okay, starting off as black, and black is in a lot of ways so much harder to play than white. Not only are you one full tempo down, but there's so many different ways that white can set up. So you have to deal with that little bit of unpredictability element, which is a huge reason why I play the hippo defense. So he's going for a typical d4 opening. So the hippo, I also normally start over here, but hippo, we're going to push pawns up. We're going to put our bishops in these spots. We're going to fianchetto our bishops and get our knights in the center, just like this. And you can basically play the same exact setup against anything that white plays to varying different degrees of success. The hippo isn't necessarily a great opening, but it is a consistent one, and white has to know how to play against it, or else they will have some problems. And if you really know what you're doing, you can give white a run for their money. Computer absolutely hates this. It says that it's already plus 0.6 for white, which doesn't mean much this early into the game. And another thing is you don't want to be too afraid of computer evaluations because you're going to be playing against people and not computers. And people aren't necessarily going to play in the most efficient, most critical ways. But okay, this is all excellent right here. Getting pawns in the center, taking control of the center. I'm offering him the center. So, and it's smart for him to take me up on that offer. This is already the first mistake of the game, and I like the idea behind it. It's a great move. Oh wow, I didn't play this right. I made a mistake right back, didn't I? Yeah. But okay, the computer would have preferred him getting a knight developed even over here. There's so many. You want to get your pieces out first because your pieces pack so much more of a punch than pawns do. And another thing, pushing your pawn forward like this is a massive commitment. Like, I'm gonna eventually break this structure apart one way or the other, and he's gonna be left with a pawn stranded deep into my territory, which is easier for me to put pressure on and maybe at some point win. But okay, I completely missed this in game. Looking at this now, so the idea behind this is you push. If he pushes forward, you can take. And if he takes, my queen is now out, so I can check and then pick that pawn up, which completely decimates his center. This pawn would still be under attack, and I would have a pretty big advantage there. Completely missed that in the game. This is a good example of me having a system or a setup that I like, and I play it so often that I kind of have a blind spot for different ideas, or like it's a lack of flexibility in the openings that I play. This still isn't the end of the world for me, and I do feel pretty confident in this position. And if I remember correctly, I think my plan is to eventually just try and break his center apart. I do want to say he is playing very well here, getting his pawns forward. These pawns are a nuisance to me. Getting his knight out. So one thing I want to say about this move, the thing that makes it bad is just this. Since I never played that, this ends up being a pretty strong move. But okay, let's, I actually just completely contradicted myself, didn't I? Let's keep going, man. We could do a little, hey, oh. Whoa. All right, let's keep thinking here. Wow, that's refreshing. But okay, moving forward, developing my knight. Like I said earlier, we're going to try to develop my knights to these squares. We're going to eventually get my bishop out. I love the way he's playing so far, to be honest. Like, he's playing pretty well. His king is a little bit exposed, but he'll eventually tuck his king away, one side or the other. Just moving forward with my plan. I'm not a big fan of how I'm playing, to be honest. This, moving his bishop here, I will say I'm not a big fan of, because he's going to have to end up moving his bishop again. It will get kicked away. It's just a matter of time. Okay, so he is castling over here. Now's when I kick the bishop back. He has to move it again. He should move it back this way. The reason why this is so much worse is because I can move a pawn forward again. He has to move his bishop another time. And these pawns being here are actually pretty strong. They're getting further and further into his territory. I'm grabbing more space, which just makes the position more dangerous for him. My bishop is also really strong. Like, look at that. Way better than this bishop. But okay, this bishop over here can play still like a defensive role for me, but really, more than anything, I would love to trade it off for this bishop. That's a bit wishful thinking though, but okay. Here's where we start breaking apart the center, making up a square for my knight. Taking, of course, is bad. He doesn't want to help me get developed. Here I made a pretty big mistake. And to be honest, I'm not totally sure how this is bad. The computer would have loved this, which not in a million years would I see this. Because moving here, I have 2 pawns hanging. This, you can just take this with tempo. But you know what? Hang on, what is this suggesting actually? Let's take a look at this line. So it's suggesting, oh, I can just win this pawn right back because this is hanging, and he can't lose this because it's a fork between his rook and his queen. That's really creative. But okay, so the computer hates this from me because I am basically locked in from this point. Like he has all of the space. I'm kind of crunched up over here, crumpled up. What am I? Do you know what I am? What's the word for that? I'm bundled up. I'm a little bit chilly. Is that what you're trying to say? I'm disgusted by you. But okay. This move that he plays, though, is so much worse. I don't even know what the thought process was behind this, because I can just take this and win a whole pawn and yet another tempo against his bishop. And around here is where things start falling apart, putting pressure on this bishop here, which has to move. Okay, he should, I believe, move it back because you don't want to give up the bishop. I guess then he would lose this pawn. Definitely looking rough for him. But okay, trading off the knight for the bishop. So I now have the bishop pair, which is always nice. This bishop is still a bit weak just because it's locked in behind all of these pawns, but at some point, hopefully that'll change, or I can try and trade it off. This is a beautiful square for my knight. And eventually it does get to this square. Also not sure what this move was by him. But okay, computer likes this move. And if he went there, I might have even just would have taken... Oh, okay, win a tempo. Okay. But all right. Basically here, we are forking the queen and this pawn. So queen has to go back. There's no squares that he can go to defend this pawn. This one's covered. Can't go here. Well, he could go here, but there's ways that I could put even more pressure on this. Like it's a bit tricky. If he ever comes over here, I missed this a couple times already. This pawn is still hanging. There might be some discover tactics, but I'm not sure what works. You know what? I think in this game he does pull off a tactic against me. So yeah, okay. He really shouldn't be trading here, I don't think, just because this helps simplify the position for me. And I want things to be more simple just because my position is so strong right now. I have 2 passed pawns. I'm going to eventually have more. This is defended. This is defended. He could get in here. Not too spooked about that, though. And I'm really cruising right here. But okay. But okay. This is a bit of a waste of a move by him. What he really should be doing, according to the computer, is launching some type of attack on this side, because this is where all of his pieces are at. Look, he has so many points of material on this side of the board, and there are attacking chances for him. Like he could push through. Nothing, according to the computer, really works, but he really should be putting pressure on me to try and put me on defense. But okay, bit of a waste of a move. He's going on defense himself here, which is smart. I like the idea behind that, but he has enough time to put pressure on me. And another thing is this pawn does end up falling, and I have a pretty big opportunity here for fork and tactics. And, he has tactics of his own right here. Whoa, computer likes this? Oh, whoa. So this, check, takes. Completely missed that. That would have made my life a lot easier. So here I do blunder some stuff, I believe, yeah. So I have to be extremely careful of this. This is a massive threat. So I'm trying to just avoid any type of shenanigans from going down. On the last move, it would have been better if I just, traded the queen completely and won a pawn at the same time, but that move just went completely over my head. Here, I make a pretty big mistake. So my idea is to, you get the general idea. I'm taking the pawn with check, and the idea is that I also take his knight right back. But this is a crazy position where all he has to do is make a quiet move, like moving his king. And if I take his knight, he's going to come in, and then I have some pretty serious problems here. If you can't take the knight, you have to remember that the queen is undefended, which I just completely missed, by the way. Casually missed that. None of this ends up happening, and he does block with the queen, which solves all of my problems. But if I hadn't have seen just this one quiet move, I never would have played this. This is a massive risk for me. Whew. But okay. This move has had me flabbergasted for a while. I had such a wonderful position, and I never would have played this if I didn't see that he could just move his king over. He doesn't play that though, and he just gives me the whole position back. So I can take his queen with check. He has to take back. I'm going to take that knight that's hanging, and from here it really is smooth sailing. I can take this pawn. The rook is hanging, so it's got to move, and then I can just fork the knight and the rook again. And from this position, he resigns. But man, he had a crazy opportunity there, and it's such a quiet move. I'm talking about when he could have just moved his king over that one square. But sometimes quiet moves like that they're hard to spot, but they can also pack just such a crazy punch. But okay, that's enough out of me. I gotta go take a shower because I feel disgusting after this. But all right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.